Hey everybody, I'm back in my kitchen. Shocker, but it's another week, another step in the journey, and I felt like I just needed to share with you guys and hop on live. I feel like there's lots of talk out there these days about bone broth, and it's kind of become a little trendy, but let me reassure you that you need to get past the trendy aspect of bone broth because it can change your life. I've been making homemade bone broth for probably almost a year, and it's been life-changing, and it's an integral part of healing your insides. And so some of you might be like, well, I don't need to heal my insides, I'm good, but hear me out real quick, and then I think you might change your mind, and then I'm going to show you guys how to make it. So I just read an amazing book called Eat Dirt by Dr. Josh Axe, and it's all about your gut and how your gut is the central part to your immunity, to your health, and it's very closely linked to our hormones, women, and to our thyroid function. And so if we're having issues with thyroid or hormone imbalances, it can almost always be directly linked to your gut. And so tell me if you have any of these symptoms. Are you tired all the time? Do you get bloated after you eat? Do you have digestion issues? I won't go into details, but you know what I'm saying. Do you get headaches? Are you breaking out a ton? Is your cycle irregular? I could go on and on and on. Do you have really cold hands and feet? A racing heart? There are so many symptoms that can be associated with thyroid problems and then in turn with your gut. And there are so many women in particular suffering from gut and thyroid issues, and you don't even know that you have it. So number one, grab this book. I know it's going to be backwards, but it's Eat Dirt by Dr. Josh Axe. No matter who you are, this is an incredible book. And so here I am in the kitchen making bone broth, and I just wanted to share my recipe with you all. It can seem a little overwhelming and kind of weird at first. Just the name of it, bone broth, is kind of funky, but people have been using this as a method of healing for hundreds and hundreds and thousands of years. And so I'm all about healing myself, and I want to share it with you guys. So really quick, I just wanted to read you a small little part in the book about bone broth and its health properties and why it can be so beneficial to all of us. It says, bone broth can transform your health. Bone broth contains amino acids such as proline, glycine, and glutamine that help repair the gut lining. Along with gut-sealing collagen, bone broth is full of minerals, calcium, magnesium, phosphorus, silicon, sulfur, in forms that your body can easily absorb. So not only does it taste good, sorry, the dogs are playing, but it's incredible for healing your gut. Oliver, come here. It's like having children. So Lizzie said she's been on bone broth for almost a year. I am. So I notice changes in the way that I'm feeling the more consistent I am with it. Hold on, you guys. Sorry, I have to get this dog. Come here, please. There's always going to be a dog in a live video now. It's like they're harder to handle than children. This is Oliver. When I'm more consistent, so it's important when you're trying to heal yourself to consume bone broth every single day. So what I'm going to do is make a really big pot of bone broth. I've got my pot right here. I've got it turned on, and I'm going to walk you guys through how to make it. So this is going to get me a lot of bone broth. That should last me probably a good week and a half or so. And so I'm going to sort of split this video up into two segments. This is teaching you guys how to make it, and then part two, I'm going to come back in live on Thursday morning, and I'm going to actually show you how I strain it and how I store it, because I've had a lot of girls in my challenge groups asking about that because we're all reading Eat Dirt together and everybody's interested in making bone broth. So start with a big pot of water, fill it almost to the top. You can see that I'm almost filled to the top. And then I'm going to be adding in 3 chunks of bone. And so here's your number one tip. I'm going to have 2 really important tips for you guys. Number one, these need to be organic bones. It's really important that you get the purest form of bone because you are going to basically, in essence, be leaching out all of the nutrients from the bones. You want to make sure that that animal was fed the healthiest, most organic diet because you're going to be eating the same thing. So that's number one, organic bones. You can go to Whole Foods, Sprouts, or a farmer's market, and all you have to do is ask for organic broth bones. They will know exactly what you're talking about, and then I get them cut up into little pieces. So I hope this doesn't gross you guys out, but here's one of my pieces. It's just a bone. I have 3 pieces, so I'm gonna pop that into my pot. Wipe my hand off. And then you guys, this is literally the simplest thing to make, but one of the most nutritious things that you can do for your body. So I've got my 3 organic bones in the pot, and then to that, I am going to add in some onions, and I'm gonna leave all the skins on. These are organic onions. It was a big one. I cut it into quarters. I'm gonna pop all of those into my pot. And then I'm also going to pop in some organic carrots. I just washed them. You don't need to peel them. And so here are my carrots going right into the pot. And then I've got 4 cloves of garlic, not peeled, because you're not going to eat them. They're just in to add flavor into the broth. So I'm popping in my garlic cloves. You guys could add celery in there too. I just didn't have celery. That's another great addition to bone broth. And then a couple more seasonings. I'm going to add in 2 bay leaves. They just add a really nice brothy, earthy flavor into that. So I'm going to pop those right in there. And then I'm going to do a couple grinds of pepper. I don't do a ton of pepper. It's not my favorite, but totally up to you guys. That's it. And then I like to add a little bit of thyme to my bone broth. I love thyme. It's one of my favorite seasonings. So I'm going to pop in probably a teaspoon of dried thyme. Pop that right in there. And then last but not least, well, there's 2 more. I'm going to throw in a teaspoon of sea salt, which I've got right here. Sprinkle that all in there. And then the final ingredient, which is, besides the organic bones, the number 1 is organic bones. Number 2 is apple cider vinegar. This is a key component to making bone broth. Sorry, I know it's backwards. So you want to make sure that you get the Bragg brand and it's organic, and you want to make sure it's raw and unfiltered. All that cloudy stuff at the bottom is the really good stuff. That's what you want. So what's going to happen is I'm going to put in probably a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar into the broth. And what happens is this apple cider vinegar I wish I had a better term for this, but it sort of leaches into the bones and it pulls out all those nutrients and minerals and calcium and collagen so that it makes that broth even healthier for you. And that's it, you guys. I have like 5 or 6 things in here: bones, onions, carrots, garlic, some seasoning, and a couple bay leaves. So I'm going to pop my top on. I'm going to bring it to a boil. And then as soon as it boils, I'm going to turn it down to almost to the lowest setting. And I'm going to simmer this broth. I do mine anywhere between 24 and 36 hours. I say the longer the better. And this one I'm going to do 36 hours. So I'm going to pop back on probably like Thursday morning and show you guys exactly what it looks like, the color, how I strain it, how I portion it out into my containers. So you can sort of see like the all-encompassing, like how I actually do the bone broth. Michelle, what container is bone broth? So actually, this is a really interesting question, and I just found this out. So I have a lot of people in my challenge groups who are using the containers. You guys have heard me talk about that. So bone broth can be considered a red container or a protein if you eat 4 cups of it a day. So 4 cups of bone broth is equivalent to 1 red container, which is pretty rad. It's got amazing collagen, protein in here. It's going to seal your gut. It's going to help heal your body, heal your gut lining, heal your stomach, and in turn heal your thyroid. So that's what I'm working on. Over here, Chrissy said yay for bone broth. I promise it's not weird, you guys. It's incredible, and I can't wait to show you the finished product. In the meantime, if you guys have any questions, pop them below on this video. I'm always here to help and see everybody live their healthiest, happiest lives. So here's to healing ourselves one day at a time, and I'll check back in with you guys in a couple days, okay?